Hey y'all, it's your favorite cozy girl, Chi the Reality Queen, and I'm back again with another episode of Robe Chronicles. Tonight we're going to be talking about Summer House Martha's Vineyard, episode 5. Okay, so this episode did not have nearly as much drama as the past 4 episodes, which I'm kind of glad about. Like, honestly, I couldn't deal with that level of drama consistently for however many episodes this show was gonna last. So this one starts off with the Silas and Bria drama. They're still yelling at each other, whatever. And Silas is like, well, I don't know what to do. I can't deal with this. And blah, 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 blah. Like, Silas really believes in his heart of hearts that he's not a controlling person. And Preston wraps it up so perfectly. He's like, Silas is controlling and Bria is manipulative. Like, I don't think Bria realizes it, or actually, most manipulative people know they're manipulative. That word is like really hard for me to say. It's not hard for me to say. I can say it, but now that I'm in this and I'm recording, apparently manipulative is a very hard word for me to say. But most people who are like that, they know exactly how they are. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're very intentional in their manipulation. And I feel like that's exactly who Bria is. And, she likes to kind of hide her hand after she does stuff like, oh my God, because she thinks like she's so little and she's so cute and I should be able to kind of do and say whatever I want and it should be okay. That's kind of how I look at Bria. But Preston's correct. She's manipulative, but Silas is controlling. He likes to control not only his wife, which it's okay if she's okay with that. That's why I think a lot of people are like, oh my God, you're so controlling. But if that's how she wants her household to be run, I actually have no problem with Silas controlling his wife, if that's what she prefers and she likes. Where I have a problem is Silas thinks that extends to everybody he knows. He tried to control Preston working out. He tries to control what people do, how they do stuff, everything. And I think that's where Silas has a problem, right? Like, if your wife is okay with that, then perfect. That's your household. However you guys want to work within your household, fine. But it doesn't work with friends, and it doesn't work with people you just know, because a lot of people are like, who the hell do you think you are telling me what to do? Like, I'm not her. I didn't marry you. So no. But I do think Bria is childish. Nick and Amir are like, feeling bad. So they go and they bring Bria her food and they're like, oh, don't leave, It's funny because that's how I know, we're just seeing edits, because I haven't even really seen Nick and Bria interact, or even Nick and Amir, besides the one conversation with him and Preston and Bria. But it seems like they're all getting pretty close. And I mean, these are things that are happening on camera, but not being shown. But yeah, she calls Simon complaining, talking about, oh, I don't like the disrespect. You know how I get when I feel disrespected. And it's like, girl, we've seen it. You cry, you whine, you blame everybody else, you get mad at everybody. Like, it's not a pretty sight, okay? Like, she's like, you know how I act. Like, girl, how do you act? You get unnecessarily angry and you're annoying. Amir and Preston are like, okay, this is too much. We just want to drink. We ain't worried about none of this drama that's happening. Like, let's take shots, which is really the vibe. Like, we are here on vacation, and for I think they're on day 8 or day 9. Like, we have had 9 straight days of drama. Like, please, let us just relax. The house then has a vote where they're like, okay, well, Silas calls for it. How long can significant others stay? And they get 5 yeses for 3 days max. And what's interesting is they only show us 3 of the votes, which was Silas, I believe Jasmine, and I want to say Nick. They don't show anybody else raise their hand, but then they say that they get 5 votes, which I guess is the majority. I honestly, at this point, don't even know who is in that house and who gets a vote, because Summer brings up a point. I think that's her name. Yeah, Summer. She's like, just got here. Like, I don't think I deserve to have a vote in this. Which she's right. You did just get here. Like, why are you determining? I mean, if she's now full-fledged, then she should have a vote. But, you know, that's how she feels. Jason doesn't care at all. He's like, I don't really care. If this is what needs to happen for her to have a good time and everybody to be chill, then let him stay. Like, everybody's kind of like, whatever. Then they go to like the hot tub, and everybody's at the hot tub. You know, Bria's still re-putting her stuff back because she has talked to her man. She's decided to stay. He's already on a flight or whatever, or ready to go. And they're in the hot tub and they're kind of chatting. It seems like idle chat. But then they ask Summer, I forgot who it was. Amir asked Summer, I think, like, when you came into the house, like, who was the first person you noticed? Like, who are you trying to talk to? Who are you attracted to? And she's like, Amir. I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious because Amir is like the most attractive person physically. Like, I think that he's cute, but then he also has the body to match. Like, the other men besides Silas are not workout guys. They're just skinny, slim. Like, Alex is super tall and skinny. Nick is tall and skinny. Preston is gay, so you know, he's not one of their choices. Jason, I don't know. And then, yeah, so that pretty much just leaves Silas is buff, but he's married. And then Amir is super buff and fit and stuff. So I think that's kind of what they're attracted to. Everybody is tired of Jasmine and Silas having loud ass sex. Amira even goes to sleep on the couch. And I'm like, you're not going to put me out. I'm going to come knocking. Y'all need to be quiet because I want rest. I want to sleep. And y'all not allowing me to sleep. I'm knocking on the door. I don't care. Because I also am a guest here. And I'm also supposed to be able to sleep comfortably. Like, the fact that they're so inconsiderate to that. They're like, oh, the walls are so thin. Just rude. But yeah, so then Jason kind of talks about himself a little bit. Oh, wait, but let me get back to that, their little sex. Because I feel like, yes, they're having sex, and yes, it's annoying for everybody. But I feel like production is doing a lot. Because why are they showing us that they're having sex like all the time? Because I feel like I have watched so many other reality shows and they have never focused that much on two people having sex. Like, I almost feel like this is deliberate. Like, yes, it might be annoying. It might be annoying for the castmates, but it's like, y'all doing a lot. Production, y'all are doing a lot. And I feel like it's a little rude and disrespectful to Silas and Jasmine. Like, I do think that, okay, they're having sex, like, they're married. What is the obsession with showing the sex? You know, like, I think it's a very, very weird thing that production is doing. I know it's on camera, but I just think it's a lot. Like, I don't think I've watched any show in which they show the sex as much as they are showing the sex that Jasmine and Silas are having. It's weird. But anyways, we find out that Jason is a recently single father to a 3-month-old. Like, well, I mean, obviously he's a father and has a 3-month-old, but the baby's obviously with the mother. And I think this is funny because I saw a tweet where someone was like, oh, he has a 3-month-old and he's here on this show. Like, what is he doing? And immediately the responses are like, oh, he's not just doing that. This is for a check and blah, blah, blah. And I just want to point out the hypocrisy of people. Because if that was a woman who had a 3-month-old and she came to this show, that was a vacation, but she was getting paid, we would never hear word, okay? We will never hear word. They would drag her from Martha's Vineyard back to wherever she's from. People would be up in freaking arms. They would lose their minds. They would lose it if they knew a woman had a baby 3 months ago and was on this show trying to get paid. I already know that people would lose it, but because he's a man, they're like, oh, he's just trying to provide. She's trying to provide too. And there are jobs that don't give as long for maternity leave. So some women do have to go back to work. So just because this is reality TV and it looks fun, the same way y'all saying he's there on vacation for a check is the same way old girl would be on the show for a check. But y'all, and I know y'all would not let her live for 1 second. She'd be called all types of irresponsible sluts, B words, everything. And I'm sick to my stomach over it. Jordan wants to do a little 1-year brunch for her 1 year of celibacy brunch, and she wants all the girls to come, and the girls, including Preston. The girls are Preston. And so she tells Jasmine, like, oh, I want to invite Bria, but I don't know how y'all, doing. And Jasmine's like, I can hang out with her despite whatever issues we have for someone else. And I love people like that. Like that type of energy to be like, I don't care what I got going on, you doing something and I want to support you. So I'm going to be there. I'm not going to make it about me and this person's beef. I'm going to treat them civilized because I'm there for you. And we're not even going to be worried about my beef. I respect Jasmine for that. Jasmine has a lot of moments in which I'm like, girl, But that was a moment where I was like, I respect that because I'm that person. I might not like someone that you like, but I'm not there for me and my beef. I'm there for you. And in that, I will support you. So the next day to go to a little brunch, and she's like, oh, I was in a situationship I had no business being in. And like, it came to find out, like she got with someone after they had just ended with someone. And as it turns out, the person she was with had never really ended it. So she was really just the other woman. And she told a long drawn out story to say that she helped a man cheat. But in my book, like I guess that hurt her or she took it personally or whatever. But I kind of, and I hope y'all don't take this the wrong way, but I don't blame her. If someone lies to you and tells you that they're single and you decide to engage with them sexually, that's that, right? Like you decided to engage with them based on what you thought you knew. You didn't do anything wrong to that woman. You didn't do anything wrong to yourself. Like, yeah, you might feel a little guilty that you got because you fell for somebody, but it's like, I don't like people to feel that shame because that is not your shame to feel. Like they lied to you. Believing someone, I mean, I'm very wary of people, but believing someone and finding out that they were lying to you is not a reason to feel ashamed. I know a lot of us feel that way, but it's not a reason to feel ashamed. It's not a reason to even feel bad. You should have kind of taken it on the chin, like, damn, I was lied to, but whatever. She goes on to say, like, initially she was going to stay celibate till she finds another relationship and wait to give herself to somebody that she's with. But then she's like, well, that could take a long time. So she's kind of more like basically making excuses as to why because she want to have sex. And that's okay. I'm with it. If you want to have sex, have sex. If you feel like you have reached the goal that you want to reach, then go ahead and do whatever you want. But Jasmine, she feels like I need to have a deeper conversation with Jordan to see what's really going on, because why is she just so ready to get out there when she had this idea of what she was going to do? And to me, I'm like, Jasmine, who cares? That's what she wants to do. Leave her alone. That's her plan. Whatever it is. You don't have to agree. It's her plan, her body, her decision. But she wants to know what's changed. And what I realized in that moment where she's talking to production is Jasmine's just as controlling as Silas. Like, she wants to control since being married, and maybe she learned that from him. Maybe it's like an extension of him controlling her. She then wants to control other people, right? So she kind of wants to control how everybody moves, control what everybody does, control how they do things. Like, and it's kind of interesting, right? Because maybe she doesn't like being controlled as much as she's okay with it, because it's like I don't imagine that's how she was like before, because of all of her friends are making it very clear that this is new to them. So it seems that being controlled by Silas is in turn making her try and control other people and what they do, because she wants them to be able to still be around her and be her friend. And because Silas has a certain warped view of how married people should behave and how they should live, she's trying to control her friends to fit that narrative that Silas has so she could still be friends with them. It's a very weird thing going on here, and I wish her the best. Summer then talks about how she was in a situation similar to Jasmine, and she's now single and she's ready to mingle and what have you. And I think someone mentions that she should talk to Alex. I kind of didn't really hear that part. Y'all, I'm not deaf and I'm not hard of hearing, but sometimes if I don't have like closed captions on, I feel like I can't hear. Okay, maybe I am hard of hearing. I don't know. Maybe I should get that checked out. I probably should. But like if I don't have closed captions, sometimes I just maybe blank out and miss parts. But yeah, so someone said something about her talking to Alex or checking in on him or something. So after brunch, they do go back, and mind you, there was no beef with Bria. She says she's fine, all of that. But they go back, and Summer goes in to have a conversation with Alex. And as it looks, they seem to have a lot in common. They're like a vibes, meditation, creative. Alex is like, now I'm a poet and this and that. And I'm not saying this because I do think shows need different characters, different, types of people. But I just don't care for his character. I don't know what it is about Alex. It's just like, maybe he's too chill or too something. It's not giving for reality TV, if that makes any sense. It's not a character that I want to see again, personally. But yeah, so, but he then is like now excited. He's like, oh, I feel like I found somebody that I can vibe with, with Summer in the house and them having similar interests. And I'm hoping that this kind of relationship with Summer helps him become more interesting, helps him become a character that I'm like, cool, because I don't think that he's a bad person. And I think a lot of people like him, obviously, in the house, but we're not seeing it. He's not having a lot of moments in which his edits are coming off as like, yes, I want to see this guy again on the next season. He's just handsome to people. Like, I'm not seeing it yet for him and his character arc. I'm not seeing it. So yeah, then Summer hires a private chef to kind of give she's Jamaican, or she's half Jamaican, half white, and she doesn't know her white side. Her white daddy left her, so she pretty much only knows her Jamaican side. So she kind of wants to share her culture with the people and have like a little Jamaican dinner. And so she hires a private chef to come in and cook Jamaican food, and I guess makes rum punch, and the food looked bomb. I don't even eat seafood, but the food looked bomb. And apparently it was really spicy. So after they eat, they decide. It's so funny because speaking of the food being spicy, Amir was like, I can't eat this. Mediterranean food is not spicy. And that's true. I love Mediterranean food, but what I always feel like it's lacking is the spice. As much as I love it, I'm like, I need some heat to this. This would be bomb if it was spicy. That's what I think anytime I eat Mediterranean food. Like, this is so good, but what would take it over the top is a little bit of spice. That's what I be thinking. And also Jasmine doesn't like spicy food, and he even had to go get milk. Like, that's how spicy it was him, and everybody else was like eating it like it was fine. But yeah, so then they decide to play Truth or Dare or Drink. I had to get that name right because I don't think I've ever played that. I'm like a whole grown human, and I don't think I've ever played that before. Or maybe I have, and I drank so much I don't remember. Who knows? Really? Who knows? But I don't remember it. But if somebody knows me and knows that I've played it, please let me know because I don't remember it. So they're playing Truth or Dare or Drink, and Jordan dares Nick to jump into the pool with all his clothes on. And I see how that's a big dare because he's such a fashion-oriented person. So he was like, absolutely not. Like, these shoes, girl, they cost too much. But then someone dares Summer to give not one of the guys, but anybody a lap dance. And she chooses Nick. And she gives him a lap dance. She got a little cute outfit on too, because Summer, like, I kind of saw her, they call her Hillary Banks. And I kind of thought she was a little plain Janie, but she cute. She got her little dress on. I'm like, okay, girl, that's cute. She gives Nick a little lap dance. And, you know, they've been drinking rum and drinking. And so all of a sudden, Nick's like, well, I'm going to get up and go jump in the pool with my clothes on. Now, I don't know if he got a little too excited from that lap dance and needed to cool off, but baby, he jumped in. He took his shoes off and jumped in the water. And then they show Alex after protection like, oh, I think she wanted a little misdirection. She wanted to give me a lap dance, but she gave it to, you know, Nick. Summer dares Amir to give Jordan the little strip tease. And he asked for consent. I was like, y'all are too cute because yes, to consent, right? Make sure somebody wants something. Just because somebody dared you doesn't mean that person wants it done to them. So shout out to the Summer House Martha's Vineyard crew for showing that consent is really important, because I think that's something that doesn't happen enough on television. People are like, oh, I dare you to kiss this person. I dare you to do this to this person. It's like, okay, just because you dared person A to do something to person B doesn't mean person B wants that to happen to them. So I do appreciate them before taking on a dare, consenting with person B. Love that. And she agrees. He goes and does a little strip tease. I'm not gonna lie, Amir's body is giving. Took a little shirt off. He's good stuff. Somebody then dares Preston to kiss Bria, and Bria's like, well, where? And so Preston, you know, he's fun, and so he goes to give her a kiss, and obviously, like, on the cheek or in the neck, and she was like, okay, that felt like you was eating, you know. And Preston's like, well, I have, you know, been with a woman before. And everybody's like, wait, so are you bi? He's like, no, which is sad. But like, imagine being like, no, I tested it out. It was not. I mean, I love that he knows himself, but I just think it's funny that it's like, well, I'm sure he knew before he tested it out, but it almost is like, I tested it out and it was so bad. But I hope that wasn't the case. But yeah, so Preston then dares Summer to kiss Alex because obviously everybody knows what the deal is. And so they're like, let's just, you know, push this forward. She's like, well, I don't want to, you know, I'm going to put it on him. If he's okay with that, then I'll do it. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm okay with that. Like, come on, Alex, I need more from you. I need more from Alex. I feel like Alex can be a really interesting character if he just kind of lets himself. I feel like he's so guarded. Like, I know cameras are watching and everybody's a little self-conscious of what they do when the cameras are watching. But I just want Alex to be like, woo, like, you know, like, just let loose a little. I just feel like he's so, like, close to chest. And I just want more from him. Then Alex then reenacts, dares Silas and Jasmine to reenact the sex noises that they make every night or whatever. And Jasmine and Silas are like super embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, I don't want other people to hear my woman moan. Oh, you didn't know everybody could hear you? Like, I find him to be very annoying. Like, he just annoys me. That's just what it is. That's where I'm at with it. I'm sure out of the context of the show, Silas might be a great guy. Very annoying on this show. Then they go back and they try to have quiet sex. Like after the game is over, they go and try to have quiet sex. And Silas is like, oh, I can't have sex if it's quiet. I need to hear my woman. And it's just a lot. I don't ever want to see them have sex again. Please, Bravo, dead that. Cut all the scenes. Don't do that to us anymore. I'm tired of them. So the next day, all the women, Preston and Silas, go shopping. Bria goes shopping because Simon is coming in. And all the guys, besides obviously Preston and Silas, go to lunch with Jason. They go to some place that he says is like really cool. While they're shopping, people ask at the lunch, they ask Amir like, oh, where do you see yourself with Jasmine? They're like asking him that. And Alex is like, honestly, bro, I feel like she's not returning the same energy that you're giving her and blah, 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 blah. And although he's correct, mind your business, Alex, mind it, because you don't come with the energy. I need you to mind your business, okay? Mind yours. But he's right. Jordan is not like, I think she finds Amir attractive. I think she's still working through some things, but it's like, she is not coming with the same flirty energy that Amir is coming. Like, he is planning things for them to do. He is trying to get close to her. He's trying to know her. And I don't think Jordan is reciprocating that energy. However, I do think she's playing it a little cool because she feels like Amir is kind of like a player. But even if Amir is a player, Amir has been pretty consistent in this house for the 7 days. He has been like, my focus is here on Jordan. Shanice came and tried, and he was like, not giving. So I'm like, you could give him more than what you're giving him. That's what I think, but whatever. So then, Jordan and Jasmine are talking while they're shopping, and she's like, well, what do you see about Amir? And she's kind of like, nothing. Like, I'm not like interested in starting anything there. And she's okay single and, whatever. And Jasmine's like, well, I don't like, what do you want? Don't you want a relationship and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And like I said, the problem is Jasmine is controlling. She wants to control how people move. She wants her friends to be wifed up because she knows Silas doesn't like her hanging out with single people. So she's using the control that he puts on her to try to control other people. That's all it is. That's all we're seeing. Like, and it's getting annoying. They all get back. Everybody, Alex cuts Amir's hair. I don't know if the cut was really that great. I feel like when people get their hair cut, it's clean. And it's like, oh, that's nice. That's a clean cut. I didn't feel that way about that cut. I felt like Amir's hair looked pretty much the same. And like I said, maybe my eyes are deceptive. Maybe I didn't see well, because Alex tells a story about having to learn to cut hair and, all this stuff and his family and some history about himself. And I'm just like, that cut wasn't fire, bro. It wasn't. It was okay at best. It was decent. It was all right. It wasn't anything great. Jordan talks to Preston about Jasmine and feels like she's too overbearing and stuff. Meanwhile, Jasmine's talking to Summer about how she feels anything she says to her friends comes off like she's trying to control them, which it does. But she said that's not her intention. And she knows that's how it comes off. Ever since she got married, it seems like, oh, I'm telling you guys this because I'm married and yada, yada, yada. And to an extent, I do understand what she's saying, because it's like, what she's saying may not be, what she's saying is what she's saying, right? If you add your own implications based on what you think she's trying to say to you, or how or why she's trying to say it to you, that's your own issue, right? If she's just saying, hey girl, I want the best for you, and you've told me this in the past, so what's going on? That's all she's saying. That's what she's trying to say. Whereas Jordan is looking at it like, girl, You now, because you're married, think you know everything. And since you know everything, you know, and you're trying to tell me what I want because you think I want what you have. And that's not the case. But like I said, it's a little bit of probably both people's biases coming into how they're interpreting what's being said. So Simon shows up. Woo! Simon comes in his little fancy red little sports car. It's been raining all day. He runs inside. He brings them a little black bottle of Clase Azul. Now, I don't know if y'all know how much that bottle costs, but a black bottle of Clase Azul can cost upwards of $1,000. So he really came through bearing gifts, because that's not cheap liquor, okay? It's a very expensive bottle of alcohol. And if you haven't seen it, look it up. I don't know what it tastes like. I'm poor. But if you know what it tastes like, please let me know. Is it better than the regular Clase Azul? That's like 100, 150 or whatever. I don't know. I drink tequila. I drink any type of tequila. I'm not picky. I don't have like, oh, I can't drink that. It's poor tequila. Like, I have poor taste buds because tequila tastes like tequila. Like, okay, yes, some are more smooth, I'm not gonna lie. But it's like, at the end of the day, once you mix it with tonic water, tastes like tequila. And let me tell you, alcohol is not something that I want to sip. So please spare me on the $1,000 bottle of alcohol, because that is something that you should sip. If I paid $1,000, I'm gonna sip that liquor. But I don't like liquor, so there's nothing that's gonna taste good enough that I want to sip personally. I understand the people that do. They like that taste. It's like black licorice, right? So crazy. But Simon comes, he's very warm welcome from everybody. Initially, Jasmine's like, I don't know if he comes in with Bria's energy. He's clearly not coming in with her energy. He seems like he wants to be accepted and just have a good time with everybody and meet everybody, because, you know, he even says it later about, you know, her bringing him into her life, and he needs to do the same for her. So I think he's really like, okay, this is my girl, and like, let me get used to this, right? So I think he came with a really good energy. Nick is like, he comes in here with this black smoking jacket. I am not a fashionista, so I don't know what that meant, but he was laughing. So I think it was shade. Sounded shady. Came off shady. Now, if it wasn't shade, Nick, please let us know. Was it shade? Was it not shade? I have no idea. I need to know, because I don't know fashion like that. So somebody who knows, can y'all let me know if that was shade? He's like, got a black smoking jacket. I was like, shade? Not shade. I don't know. I don't know what that means. If you know fashion, let me know. But yeah, so they go to dinner, and he gives everybody, well, they give Jasmine and Silas wedding gifts, which are matching his and hers Versace watches. Nice ass watches. He pretty much gives everybody a nice watch. Everybody's watch is at least $800. Like, wow. Simon, please. I'm also having dinner for friends. You are welcome. Bria, you too. Everybody's welcome. I just want a nice watch. Okay, y'all, I'm not a user. I was just kidding. But the watches were nice. So then they start talking, and he asks, and that's what I was saying. So Silas asks Simon, like, what is your intention? And I think that's really weird that Silas is asking that. I don't like that he feels the need to question everybody about everything. And I think him and his wife have that problem. Maybe they feel like they're keeping the show going and like continuous and conversation, but it's like things happen naturally. As you guys sit there, it's gonna come out. But he says that he's like, I love Bria, and you know, I want to be with her and grow with her, and you know, the way she's bringing me into her life, I want to be able to do that and start doing more of that with her. And it's so funny because Silas starts talking about how beautiful a union is and how beautiful a union works within like friendships and families or something like that. And all of a sudden, Jasmine's like, I think it's really hard. And she starts tearing up. But you know what? I can see how it's hard for her, because if she was the fun time girl and now you're married and your husband expects you to be the wife girl, pick me girl, like, I mean, not pick me because she's been picked, but it's like, give off that energy. It's like, it's different. And I'm sure that's very hard for her, because meeting someone, falling in love, getting married in a pandemic, someone has once said to me about like, you shouldn't marry somebody unless you see them in all their seasons. And yes, fall, winter, spring, summer, but also like, who are you with your friends? Who are you with your family? Who are you at work? Like, who are you in all of your seasons of who you are? Like, who are you? You know, and when you meet somebody in such a one-dimensional setting, they can't leave their home. They have to stay inside. The only person they can hang out with is you and feel safe. You're really limiting what you know about that person. So to say that you love them and you want to marry them and you want to be with them, not saying you don't, right? I'm sure they love each other. I really do think that. But it's like, now she has to upkeep that same person that you met, even though she has so many other characteristics and character and personalities and things she likes to do. And she might have talked about them. Again, talking about them is not experiencing them. Oh, I worked in the Playboy Mansion. I did this. I partied. Okay, great. But you ain't never seen her do that, right? And that is different. And so Jasmine starts tearing up, and that's pretty much how this episode ends. And I think it's time to see Jasmine a little vulnerable about her marriage, because it's pretty much been roses and sunflowers since they started, and she's so perfect and she's so happily married. And the truth is, it's not as perfect as she's trying to portray. And not saying that they have problems in their marriage, but it's probably a little bit more troublesome for her to get by and to do all this stuff. So I'm kind of excited to see that side of Jasmine and to see what she has to say, and maybe come off a little bit more vulnerable than Little Miss Perfect Wife, you know. I'm excited for that. And I'm also kind of excited to see how everybody meshes together with Simon not giving gifts. I mean, he's already given the gifts, right? But like, how is he when you're just interacting in the hot tub, playing games? Yes, he is not Black, but that's actually not the biggest problem with Simon in that group. Simon isn't American, he's German. So culturally, there are going to be differences, not just between white and Black, but American German, right? And I kind of want to see those things play out as well. And pretty much all of it. I'm excited. I love this show so far. I'm excited for it each Sunday. So, you know, tell me what you guys think. I've heard a few negative reviews, but mostly positive. And I will be back next week to enjoy the show again. And I will give you guys another recap of what I think. And if you guys have any thoughts, let me know. Can't wait to hear them. Bye.